The Galactic Council had studied humanity for decades, observing their primitive world through distant sensors and occasional probes. To the assembled species of advanced civilizations, Earth appeared to be nothing more than another developing planet populated by aggressive mammals who fought endlessly among themselves. The Council's xenobiologists dismissed humans as too fractured and violent to ever pose a threat to galactic peace. Ambassador Thran of the Alterian Federation stood before the massive crystalline assembly hall, his forearms gesturing gracefully as he addressed the gathered representatives. "The humans wage war constantly," he declared, his voice resonating through the chamber's acoustic amplifiers. "They cannot even unite their own species. How could such divided creatures ever threaten our established order?" The council members murmured their agreement. The Vulcan Empire's delegate, a towering reptilian being named Gorth, added his own observations. "Our intelligence reports show they fight with crude chemical propellants and primitive nuclear devices. Their largest vessels barely reach their own moon consistently. They are centuries behind our most basic technology." What the Council failed to understand was that humanity's constant warfare had forged them into something the galaxy had never encountered. While other species had achieved peace through diplomacy and gradual evolution, humans had learned to adapt, innovate, and survive through endless conflict. Every battle taught them new lessons. Every defeat made them stronger. The decision to subjugate Earth came swiftly. The Council voted unanimously to send a small fleet to demonstrate their superiority and bring the humans into line as a tributary species. They expected quick surrender once humanity witnessed their advanced technology. Admiral Rex commanded the human defense fleet from the bridge of the UES Defiance, humanity's first true deep space battleship. Unlike the sleek, elegant vessels of the Galactic Council, the Defiance looked like what it was, a weapon built by a species that understood war intimately. Its hull bristled with weapon systems, redundant armor plating, and defensive countermeasures developed through centuries of human conflict. When the alien fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, they sent their standard ultimatum. The message was broadcast on all frequencies in broken human languages. "Surrender now. Become vassals of the Galactic Council. Resistance is futile." Rex studied the enemy formation on his tactical display. 12 ships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built, arranged in a perfect geometric pattern that spoke of absolute confidence. The alien vessels were beautiful in their way, with flowing curves and crystalline structures that seemed more like art than instruments of war. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Blake from the communications station, "they're demanding we power down all weapons and prepare to receive boarding parties." Rex leaned back in his command chair, a grim smile crossing his weathered face. "Send them our response." The message humanity transmitted back was simple. "Come and take it." The Battle of Sol began 3 hours later. The alien fleet advanced. In their perfect formation, energy weapons charging with visible light that painted the darkness in brilliant colors. They expected the single human ship to flee or surrender when faced with such overwhelming odds. Instead, the Defiance accelerated directly toward them. Captain Nova, commanding the alien flagship Harmony of Stars, watched in bewilderment as the crude human vessel charged their formation. "They must be malfunctioning," she told her crew. "No rational species would attack 12 ships with one." The first exchange of fire taught both sides valuable lessons. The alien energy weapon struck the Defiance's armor with tremendous force, scorching deep gouges in the reinforced hull. But the ship kept coming, its own weapon systems opening fire with devastating effect. Humanity had learned warfare from necessity. Every weapon system on the Defiance had been tested in battle, refined through conflict, and designed with redundancy that the aliens found incomprehensible. When the ship's primary guns were damaged, secondary systems engaged automatically. When those failed, tertiary backups came online. The aliens discovered that their beautiful, efficient ships had been designed by species that had forgotten what real war meant. When the Harmony of Stars took damage to its primary power core, the entire vessel went dark. The elegant energy distribution systems that made the ship so efficient in peacetime became critical failure points in battle. Rex watched as 3 alien ships drifted powerless after the first engagement. "Target their formation leaders," he ordered. "Break their coordination." The Defiance dove through the enemy fleet like a predator among prey. Human tactics, developed through millennia of warfare, proved devastatingly effective against opponents who had grown soft through centuries of peace. The aliens tried to maintain their perfect formations even as ships around them exploded or went dark. Within 6 hours, 10 of the 12 alien vessels had been destroyed or disabled. The surviving ships retreated, their crews broadcasting desperate messages to the Galactic Council about the terrifying effectiveness of human warfare. Ambassador Thren received the reports with growing alarm. How had a single primitive ship defeated an entire Council fleet? The answer came in the detailed tactical analysis. Humans fought differently than any species the galaxy had ever encountered. They embraced chaos, adapted instantly to changing conditions, and turned their opponent's strengths into weaknesses. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. For the first time in their recorded history, they faced a species that not only refused to submit but had proven capable of defeating their military forces. The vote to classify humanity as a dangerous developing species passed without dissent. But it was too late for simple classification changes. Word of the human victory spread throughout the galaxy, reaching dozens of species who had chafed under Council rule for generations. If these primitive humans could defeat the Council's fleet, perhaps other species could find their own paths to freedom. Rex stood on the observation deck of the Defiance as it returned to Earth orbit, watching the planet slowly rotate beneath them. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy not as supplicants or vassals, but as warriors who would defend their independence at any cost. The aliens had indeed underestimated war. They had forgotten that sometimes the most dangerous opponent is not the strongest or most advanced, but the one with nothing left to lose and everything to fight for.